Imagine a world where the US dollar isn't the most important currency and isn't the global reserve currency. The BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are working together to make a new currency. This currency will be based on their combined strengths. People are talking a lot about how this possible game changer will affect the US dollar and the international financial scene. Will the BRICS currency change the way money is used and start a new era? As the BRICS countries show how strong their economies are, the idea of a new currency grows. It starts a heated discussion because it could make the US dollar less important. Will the BRICS countries work together to make a strong currency? Or will the US dollar continue to have a strong hold on world finance? Come with us as we learn more about this story. In this interesting video, we look at how a new BRICS currency could change trade, financial markets, geopolitical ties, and the future of the international monetary system. Creating a new BRICS currency would have big effects on trade and other financial activities. At the moment, US dollars are used for most foreign transactions, including the settlement of cross-border payments and the trading of goods. But a new BRICS currency could make it less likely for BRICS countries to use the US dollar for these kinds of operations. This would give the BRICS countries more freedom and options in how they trade with each other. It would also make them less vulnerable to the risks and changes in exchange rates that come with the US dollar. The fact that the US dollar is the world's reserve currency gives the US a lot of benefits, such as lower borrowing costs and more power over global financial markets. But a new BRICS currency could make it harder for the US dollar to be the world's main currency. If the BRICS countries are able to create a stable currency that is widely used, foreign investors and central banks may want to hold reserve funds in the new currency. This change in savings could lower the desire for US dollars around the world, which could cause its value to drop and weaken its position as the most important currency. It could also be a sign of a bigger change in the way the world's economies work, as countries spread their reserves and rely less on a single currency. But challenging the US dollar's position as the reserve currency is a difficult job that requires the BRICS currency to show that it is stable, diversified, and trustworthy in order to be widely accepted around the world. The creation of a new BRICS currency will have big effects on world politics. It shows that the BRICS countries are becoming more economically powerful and influential, putting pressure on the United States and its currency. Setting up a new currency could be seen as a sign of the BRICS countries' economic freedom and their desire to change the way the world's money works. As the BRICS countries show themselves as an alternative economic bloc, this change in the balance of power could lead to changes in the way countries work together politically. It could change the way countries negotiate, form alliances, and work together as they reconsider their economic relationships and try to fit in with the new economic forces. Fascinating, isn't it? If a new BRICS currency were introduced, it would likely have a big effect on the world's financial markets. As the currency becomes more popular and easier to use, it would open up new investment possibilities and could make the global financial system more diverse. Investors would have to change their investments to include investments that are worth the new currency. This could cause changes in the way investments are distributed and affect the value of other currencies, including the US dollar. Financial institutions and people who trade on the market would also have to change their methods, infrastructure, and ways of trading to work with the new currency. This change could bring both problems and opportunities. Market practices and rules may need to be changed to make sure that the new currency fits smoothly into the global financial environment. The fight for power is getting worse, which could have a big effect on trade, capital, and the balance of economic power. Get ready for a thrilling fight in which currencies will clash and the future of the financial world will be decided. The world is waiting with bated breath as the stage is set for an exciting story that will change the way money works around the world. Stay tuned for the next exciting part, in which the secrets of this shadowy alliance will be revealed. This will leave the world on the edge of its seat, waiting for a resolution and the start of a new age in global finance. At the moment, the US dollar is the most important currency in the system. Other currencies play smaller parts. The creation of a new BRICS currency could pave the way for a more multipolar system in which multiple currencies share global power and serve as backup currencies. This could make the international monetary system more balanced and diverse, lowering the risks that come with a single currency being the most important. But switching to a multipolar system would need a lot of coordination and cooperation between countries, as well as the creation of strong systems for government, risk management, and coordinating monetary policies. The future of the international monetary system will depend on how the US dollar, the euro, and the new BRICS currency interact with each other, as well as how the economies and political situations of different countries change over time. With the creation of a new BRICS currency, trade costs will go down, which is a big plus. At the moment, there are many costs associated with overseas transactions, such as foreign exchange fees, trading costs, and currency conversion fees. These costs can have a big effect on businesses, investors, and consumers who trade and spend across borders. But a uniform BRICS currency could help ease these problems and make it easier to do business with other countries. One of the best things about a new BRICS currency is that there won't be any need to change money. With a common currency, companies in the BRICS countries can do business with each other without having to convert their currencies first. This gets rid of the costs and difficulties of exchanging currencies, making transactions easier and lowering the time it takes to settle payments. Also, foreign exchange fees would go down if all BRICS countries use the same currency. When doing business with other countries, companies, and people must convert their home currency into the currency of the other country. Most of the time, banks or other financial institutions will charge fees for this process. By using a single currency, businesses would not have to pay these fees. The money they save can be given to customers or put back into the business. Amazing, right? It's important to remember that a new BRICS currency wouldn't have an instant or clear effect on the US dollar. Setting up a new currency is a complicated process that needs political agreements, monetary policies, and institutional frameworks, among other things. Also, a new currency's success would rest on how trustworthy, diversified, and stable it was on international markets. Because of this, it is important to think about the problems and challenges that the BRICS countries would face in setting up and keeping a new currency. One of the biggest problems would be getting the BRICS countries to agree on different economic and monetary matters. The economic structures, policy goals, and levels of growth in these countries are all different, which could make it harder to create a single currency. Harmonizing monetary policies, controlling inflation rates, and dealing with possible differences in economic performance would require the BRICS countries to work together and coordinate a lot. A second problem would be getting foreign investors and market participants to trust and believe in the new currency. Investors trust that the US dollar will keep its value because it has a good image and has been stable for a long time. To be accepted everywhere, a new currency would have to be like the old ones and get past the initial doubts. Implementing successful monetary policies, keeping prices stable, and making sure that central banks are independent would be key to giving the new currency credibility. The foreign monetary system is also very connected and dependent on each other. The US dollar has been the most important currency in the world for a long time, and any big change would need to be done carefully to avoid disruptions and unrest. As the country that issues the world's main reserve currency, the US has been very important in keeping the world's financial system stable. If a new BRICS currency were to be created, it would be important for the BRICS countries and current international institutions to work closely together to make sure the change goes smoothly and limit any negative effects. The idea that a new BRICS currency could challenge the US dollar's position as the world's reserve currency has set the stage for a fascinating story about economic power and international politics. As the BRICS countries increase their power and try to change the way the world's banking system works, the effects are far-reaching. Will the US dollar continue to be the dominant currency, or will the rise of a new currency be a turning point in the world economy? As the world waits to see how this interesting story plays out, the future is full of exciting opportunities and unknowns. One thing is for sure, the BRICS currency debate has started a fire that could change the way the world economy works for good. Stay tuned as we continue to look into this story that is always changing, where the fight for control of money continues to fascinate minds and shape the future of countries.